Hey everyone, welcome to another two-tailed playthrough. We're moving right along through September and the month of shooters here, and next up is Aero Fighters for the SNES. Aero Fighters, or Sonic Wings as it's known in Japan, was released for the SNES back in 1994. Aero Fighters is among the first vertically scrolling arcade games. The gameplay consists of a scrolling screen with airplane sprites that shoot at various enemy targets to earn points and avoid being attacked. Basically, you're in a plane, screen is scrolling automatically forward, and you have to shoot everything you can to rack up points and try not to get shot down. It's a lot of fun. According to the game manual, the story for Sonic Wings, Aero Fighters of course, is the world's hope hinges on your combat skills and sheer determination as an aero fighter. Defend the world from unknown alien forces that are attempting to take over the world. You must extract these unknown forces before they can execute their plot for dominance. After conquering the unknown forces, the battle continues into space, where the controlling intellect dictated the takeover attempt. You must seek and destroy this evil force to prevent it from seizing other worlds. What is it about aliens and taking over this one puny planet? There are 8 characters to choose from in Aero Fighters 1, 2 from the USA, Japan, Sweden, and England. Each of them has their own unique storyline and their own reasons for fighting the enemy. I find the characters selected in this game kinda interesting, because despite there being 8 characters, you can only play as 4 of them if you're playing single player. In order to see the other 4 characters, you'll have to use the second controller. So if you want to play as one of those other 4 guys, you'll have to start the game with 2 players, then let player 1 die so you can play as the second player of your choice. It's easier to show you this, of course, than to explain it, so let's get on with the game. So, like I said, you can go 1 or 2 players, and then of course there's the option menu where you can change the difficulty and stuff. So here's the character select screen. Now, like I said, despite there being 8 characters, you can only play as 4 of them on either side. If you want to see or play the other characters, you'll have to use controller 2. For this run, I'm going to use Katon the American. And it looks like we're starting in England. Now, there are 8 stages in this game, and while the stages stay the same, the order you play them in is completely random. The first 4 stages are randomly selected from the nations that weren't chosen. Once you finish the 4 rival nations, 4 more stages open up, which are also thrown at you at random underneath. The only one that is always the same is the last stage, which of course always comes last. Each plane has their own unique weapon style, Katon's of course being the standard double lasers. As you go through the game, you can collect power-ups, like one right there as I just died, wow, I'm off to a great start, which then upgrade the gun. You can upgrade your weapon 3 times, making it more powerful each time. The third upgrade is only temporary, as it fades back down to the second upgrade for whatever reason. That always got on my nerves a little bit. So, I've upgraded my weapon twice, and now we're flying over England, destroying everything we can. In this game, if you can shoot it, it can most likely be destroyed. Some objects may take more hits to destroy than others, but just keep firing at it, and eventually it will explode. Destroying some objects can of course leave money, and the type of money is determined by the character's nations. It'll be dollars for the Americans, yen for the Japanese, so on and so forth. There are no shops in this game, so the money is just purely points. At the end of each stage, there's of course a boss. The boss for the first stage here is called the Avro Bomber. It's a giant bomber plane that shoots out shots from the rear somehow that you of course have to dodge. The big yellow bullets can be destroyed, whereas everything else you have to dodge through. The trick to games like this, it's kinda hard to get used to, is don't watch the screen, watch your plane. That way, whenever you see a bullet come flying at you, you can react better to dodging it. Of course, it's easier said than done. Just keep shooting at the plane, and eventually it will go down. Well, 1 down, 7 to go. After each stage, you'll get a message from your character. You'll also be shown where your next stage will be, in this case, Sweden. Yay, mountain-based hangars. Destroy the hangars to stop more planes from coming out at you. Or let them keep coming for more points, your choice. Right now my weapon is fully powered up, and once you have that, you're pretty much unstoppable unless you run into something, which is pretty easy. You just strafe back and forth across the screen, destroying everything that comes at you. One bad thing about Katon is he's kind of slow, so when a plane comes at you like that chopper just did and gets behind you, it can be a little tricky to outmaneuver it. After that short stage, we reach the boss, the Holly Mountain base. This base consists of a bunch of little turrets you can easily destroy, and then the centerpiece, which has 4 turrets and 1 big turret in the middle. Once you blow that up, the screen lifts up to reveal the underground segment of the base, and the real fight begins. I like to start out by taking out one side of the screen at a time. Take out the 2 round turrets, and then the turret in the corner, and then focus on the base in the middle. While you want to destroy everything, it's best to get rid of the round turrets first. The 2 turrets in the corner shoot the yellow bullets you can destroy, so they're not much of a threat. Once everything is destroyed, the boss will throw a flurry of large orange bullets at you, which can be tricky to dodge. A few more hits will take it out, though. Our next stage appears to be Japan. Ah, Japan. I want to go there one day just to see everything. Of course, when I go there, I hope there won't be a plane flying overhead destroying all of the city. Be careful of the big choppers as they take a few hits to take down and fire a spread shot. And then of course be wary as the smaller ones that are going to come out of buildings and stuff on the sides and either charge you or shoot at you from far. Boom, boom, boom. Gotta love blowing things up. Once you reach this really big building, you're going to want to stay to the side of it, as the boss is going to shoot a laser remount and then emerge from inside of the building. This big thing is the Super XX, and it appears throughout the Sonic Wings series. Aside from the standard bullets it shoots at you, it also has these extending arms that it attacks you with, as you saw right there. Sometimes they come straight out, and other times they shoot out at an angle. Then of course there's the big laser the boss shoots. The laser fires for a couple seconds, so make sure you stay to the side once that starts. After you deliver enough hits to it, the head will fly off and it'll start shooting a spray of bullets that go in a circular pattern. You can dodge them by moving around it in a circle. Our next stage is the Middle East, and Katon didn't expect to be back here again because he fought in Operation Desert Storm. The Middle East is the first appearance of this big chopper here that I find really annoying. He takes a ton of hits to move down, moves really fast, and you have to be very precise in order to dodge his shots. You can get in between the 2 shots he fires at you, but that can be a little tricky, so it's best to stay to the sides and wait for your chance of flying and hitting. Yes, keep throwing your tanks and choppers and planes at me. They will do absolutely nothing! I will destroy you all and take all your money that you're dropping for whatever reason. That's one of the things I love about shooters. You just destroy everything. Blowing everything up, there's stuff exploding all over the place. Ah, it's so much fun. Now this part here is actually pretty tricky. There are these 2 columns at the side that fire massive spreads of bullets at you, and if you could destroy them, they each drop a power-up. The one on the left gives a gun upgrade, while the one on the right gives a bomb. Our boss this time is this giant tank thing that's called the Zeal. You're going to want to destroy the guns on the side first before taking out the rotating gun in the center. You don't have to destroy the turrets on the sides, but once you destroy the center turret, it opens up to this giant thing and starts shooting a whole lot more at you. So if you left either one of those turrets on the sides alive, that's just more bullets to dodge. Despite it looking very intimidating, it's actually really easy to take down. The spinning turrets on the side shoot the yellow bullets that you can destroy, and the rest are easily dodged by strafing back and forth. Aside from that, just watch out for the choppers that come at you from the sides. Most of the time it's easier to dodge them, though if you're right in front of it, feel free to shoot it down while working on the boss. The tank's shots, though numerous, are actually really easy to dodge, and when it moves towards the top of the screen, it gives you even more time to react. So just keep shooting wildly at it, and eventually it will explode like everything else. What kind of enemy are you up against? Well, you'll find out. In this game, Katon is very straight-faced and all about the mission, but in the later games, he becomes much more entertaining and is apparently a big flirt, although he has no success. Anyway, we're in North Africa now. We're flying over the ocean, taking out hover tanks and battleships and aircraft carriers, the works. That reminds me of 1943. After that last line of ships, we come to the boss of this stage, a landing craft called the Pomerik. Now the Pomerik, I probably said that wrong, is a Russian landing craft, and it's actually one of the newest craft to be in this game since it came into service back in 1986. To take this thing down, you want to start off by destroying the 4 guns in the front. Once they're gone, focus on shooting the tower in the center until the 4 little engines on the sides of it explode. Watch out for the planes that come at you from the sides, but that's no big deal. Eventually, the tower will explode, and you'll see the next part of the boss. Once the tower is destroyed, it starts shooting a spray of bullets that it can be kind of tricky to dodge, so you want to stay as far back from it as you can so you have time to react. Just keep shooting at the core, and eventually it will go down. Well, that's good to know, Katon. I'm sure we'll be calling you in pretty soon. Now we're in Russia. Watch out for all the choppers that come flying at you at the beginning, as they throw quite a barrage at you. Great, another one of these big choppers. God, I hate these things. Shortly after that big chopper, you come to our first building that actually attacks you. The tops of these buildings fly off and then come screaming at you like missiles, and they take a lot of hits to take down, so make sure you have lots of room before they reach you. Okay, now here's where I'm using my first bomb. Each plane has their own different bomb, and Katon's, as you just saw, is a massive explosion. The reason why I use one there is that all the tops in those buildings, as you just saw, came flying at you in one fell swoop, and it's really hard to take them all out. Each one you take down gives you a gun upgrade, so the more you destroy, the more upgrades you get. Dropping a well-placed bomb will destroy them all in one fell swoop, and you'll get all the upgrades they drop. Unfortunately, your gun will only upgrade to level 3. The round building tops are most annoying because they actually chase you a little bit, and they stay at the bottom of the screen, so you have to stay towards the middle in order to try and get behind them. Once you pass those 2 planes, it's time for the boss fight. This time we're fighting a MiG-21. Do your best to stay behind the MiG and dodge the shots it fires at you. It will sometimes shoot missiles that will fly off the screen and then come back at you, but those missiles can be destroyed, so most of the times you won't even see them. Once you take out the first one, don't rest easy because the second one comes at you. This one is a little different. Again, you're going to want to stay behind it, but you got to be careful because it'll actually throttle forward like right there, and if you're too close to the flames, you can get hit and die. So, you want to be careful of that while you're taking it down. The hit detection on the thrusters is really weird, so you want to stay as far away from them as possible when it does that. That's 6 stages down, and yeah, Katon, they're aliens. What'd you expect? So here we are at the last stage of the game, and this is the calm before the storm, I guess you could say. When these things start flying at you, pick a side and focus on destroying everything on that side. These things take a few seconds to destroy, so there's not a lot of time to destroy them all. It's easier to just stay on one side. Once you reach the front of the station, the things will stop flying at you, so you can focus on taking out that gun as well as the hangers on the side that actually spit out those flying things. Once you've dealt with those, it's time to take out the station core. First thing you're going to want to do is take out the turrets on the side. With those out of the way, you can focus on the core itself. The core has 3 forms of attack. One is this form here where the guns are on the side and you have to stay in between in order to dodge them. The second is that giant spread form you just saw, and the third is the same spread form except the bullets are much smaller and harder to dodge. Once you manage to take it down, you'll scroll forward some more dealing with more of these weird gun things, which you can actually stay directly in front of and they won't be able to hit you. Shortly after that, you'll find a space shuttle, and then it's time for the final boss battle. Right away, start firing on the shuttle. It's going to take off, and you're going to have a lot of bullets to dodge, so just do the best you can. Eventually, the shuttle will spit out these 2 disc things, which fire at you in a rotating motion. The shots aren't that hard to dodge, and when the things get close, just focus on destroying them to eliminate another headache. Once those are gone, the shuttle will spit out these weird canister things that throw a laser on each side of the screen. You have to destroy the canister itself to make the laser go away, otherwise you'll run into it and die. With those gone, 2 things can happen. One is a canister will come flying out of the shuttle and you'll fight this thing, Ozaru. Now, if you're a fan of Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z, you'll know that Ozaru is a giant monkey, and that's what we have here. Somehow, this giant monkey is in control of the entire alien force attacking the Earth. If you have any bombs left, this is the best time to use them. If you were wondering why I wasn't using my bombs throughout the run, that's why. I was saving them all for this stage. It makes it much, much easier. Thankfully, Ozaru is pretty slow. His shots, however, come at you pretty fast, so you want to stay as far away from him as you can so you have more time to react and dodge him. He's going to take a lot of hits to take down, so don't get discouraged if he doesn't die right away. His last form of attack is a cannonball thing where he balls up and flies at you, so dodge it as he comes at you and then be careful to dodge him again as he comes back. Just keep shooting at him and eventually he will explode and you'll get to watch the ending, which depends on which character you took. Yeah, that's Katon's ending. His plane is destroyed somehow at the very end of the last fight, and then he's supposedly killed, and he becomes a star. The younger brother there is unnamed, and it's presumed that he takes over for Katon should you continue playing the same loop, as once the game is over, of course, it restarts just like every other shooter, and you can continue playing through. However, with that, we now get the ending where we see all the characters giving a short one-liner. After all the characters speak, you're given this code here that when you enter at the character select screen, lets you play as a secret character. Then of course the game ends and restarts itself. You can continue playing throughout the same game again as it loops over again. I don't know if the ending is any different though, I didn't do it here. However, what I am going to do is play through the game with a different character now. I'm going to play with a character from the second player's side, specifically Mao, the second Japanese character. Now, starting it on 2-player mode, you can see the pair of characters for each nation. The first player chooses a nation, and then both players are stuck with those characters until the end of the game. Even if you die, you come back as the same character. You can't mix and match. Now, as I said, I'm going to be playing as Mao. No, I didn't stutter. Her first and last name are the same. And Mao is the only female character in the first game. Since I can't control both players at once, I'm going to let the first player die off and then focus on the second player. Now, as I'm sure you've noticed, Mao's plane is pretty similar to Katon's as far as weapons go. The difference is when hers powers up to the second and third form. As you can see, not only does it have the same shot type, but it also has these green lasers on the side. It's not quite as powerful as Katon's is, but it's still pretty nice. Mao may not be as strong as Katon as firepower-wise, but she is faster, making it easier to dodge enemies and bullets. Alright, player 1 is gone, and as you can see, Mao's shot is pretty similar to Katon's, though with the added green laser thingies, it's a little bit wider. Another thing I'm sure you've noticed is Mao started in Sweden, whereas Katon started in England. Like I said, the first 4 stages are randomly chosen amongst the nations you didn't choose. The stage is exactly the same, the only difference is, of course, the character you chose, whether they're stronger, slower, or whatever. Here we are back again at the Holly Mountain, so again, take out the side turrets and then take out the thing in the center. And for the underground part, same thing. Take out the spinning turrets first, then the turret at the top, and then focus on the middle. Well, Mao, you're the one with a secret identity as a fighter pilot. Mao is actually a popular teen singer who, for whatever reason, decides to masquerade as a fighter pilot. Once again, I'm going to save my bombs for the last stage, as I said before, they make it a lot easier. I will be using one, of course, on the Russia stage, where the rooftops come flying at you. That big dome there that's shooting at me actually can be destroyed. It just takes so many hits that it's not very easy to take out with Mao or Katon. So here we are back at the boss, the Avro Bomber. I didn't mention this before, but the Avro Bomber is actually an unmanned craft. It's just shooting random fireballs at you. Just like before, stay behind it, take out everything, take out the yellow orbs it shoots, and dodge everything else until it goes down. That's why she says that statement there, how is it flying on its own, because the Avro bomber, like I said, was unmanned. Now since we're not playing as Katon, we get to see the America stage. You start off here flying over some city somewhere, I'm not sure which one, and then it actually opens up into the ocean. After you take out a few submarines, it's time for the boss of the stage, the New Jersey battleship. The battleship has its own set of guns here, as well as other craft that come flying at you. The ship was named after the USS New Jersey, which served in World War II, the Korean War, and Vietnam War. Fighting the ship is a lot like fighting the ships in 1943. You start at the front and then work your way up the ship, destroying everything you can as you go. When you get to the tower, the screen stops scrolling for a bit and the ship moves back and forth. You have to take out the guns on either side while destroying the helicopters that come flying at you before the screen will scroll again, allowing you to destroy the rest of the ship. Why, Mao? Well, I guess technically you don't have to put up with it, but then again, if you don't, the world's going to be destroyed, so you kind of have to. And now we're back in the Middle East. Remember to be careful of the stupid chopper at the beginning that takes a lot of hit to take down. Once you get past him, though, the stage gets pretty easy. Also, I'm sure you notice as the money Mao collects is in yen form, whereas Katon was collecting dollars. The currency is the currency for whatever nation you're playing as, which I thought was pretty cool. This time I was actually able to destroy one of those turrets, and okay, I was wrong. The one on the right gives the gun upgrade, and the one on the left gives the bomb. My mistake. And here we are with Brazil again. Same strategy, take out the guns on the sides, then take out the spinning turret in the center. Now see, this time I wasn't able to destroy both guns on the side before I blew up the center turret, so now I have to deal with that side turret I couldn't destroy before. Honestly, it's not that big of a deal, but it adds more firepower that you really don't have to deal with. Who cares? Exactly. Destroy everything! Who cares? You're saving the world. Time for North Africa again. Same thing, more battleships, more floating ships. Yeah. And here we are back at the Pironic, which I probably butchered the pronunciation again. Sorry. Same thing though, take out the 4 guns on the front, then the 4 guns aside the tower, then the tower, and then finally the ship itself. No, they can't defeat you, Mao. Behold the power of the teen pop idol. Yeah! Go J-pop. And we're back in Russia again. Not long now. Okay, it's coming up to where I'm about to use a bomb again to destroy the tops of these buildings. Now what just happened was Mao's bomb actually freezes time, so it stops anything on the screen in its tracks, allowing you to take them out with ease. And now we're back with the MiGs. Again, stay behind them, be careful of the shots, and watch out for when they use their afterburners. One down, on for number 2. That's the spirit, Mao. Show 'em what you can do. Okay, here's the final stage again. Just like before, stay to one side, take out these things, and make your way forward. When you reach the station, take out the guns on the side, and get in the center so you can avoid the shots from the tank thingy that comes rolling up at you. Then take out the hangers that spit out the goofy things, and fight the core. Gonna try not to use all my bombs on the cores. I'm saving as many as I can for the final boss, just like before. Just like before, once the core is destroyed, you move onward and you take out the rest of the station before following the space shuttle and taking it down. Now here the shuttle's using the laser thingies early, so you have to take them out and then worry about the disc thingies it throws. Now I'm going to use a bomb. Makes this a little bit easier. Okay, now this is the other form of the final boss. For whatever reason, there's two different final bosses. The first one was Ozaru, and the second one is Pandora, which you'll see shortly as we take out this missile thing that is falling apart. These weird things can be a little hard to destroy, but thankfully their shots are pretty easy to dodge. So once you take them out, you're on to the next phase of the missile thing. For the most part, you can stay behind it for this form, as there's only a couple shots that actually have a chance of hitting you back there. Once it's destroyed, however, you gotta move forward and be careful as it's gonna spit off another section. It's basically the same thing you just destroyed, except it's moving around and has more of a chance to hit you. Once you destroy it, the missile thing comes back and spits more stuff at you. Now it's gonna throw these booster rocket things at you that shoot out an array of bullets from the sides. So if you stay behind them, you can take them out without worrying about being shot. But you gotta be quick so they don't run into you and you don't blow up. When you get down to the last booster rocket, you get to see Pandora. As you can see, Pandora is this grotesque skull with these tentacles emitting from the bottom that I'm guessing are supposed to be like spinal cords or something. You're going to be shooting at Pandora for a while because she takes a stupid amount of shots to take down. Her shots are also pretty tricky to dodge as she's moving so fast. You gotta be quick because if you take too long, as you can see, you're gonna get sucked into the atmosphere and burn up in re-entry. Thankfully, I was able to take it out before we got too close. Now it's time for Mao's ending. Yep, at least hers makes a little more sense. She dreamed it all. Aside from singing, one of Mao's favorite hobbies is sleeping. Then, of course, we get the cast roll where they all say their one line. Now, while I may not have been able to play through the game with both characters, I was able to go back and make another video where I buzzed in the second or first player, in this case, so we could see their two-player endings. So here is Mao's second player ending. So in Mao's two-player ending, the whole thing was a movie that her and he starred in. Makes you wonder if they're trying to say that this isn't real and it's either Mao's dream or a movie she's in. Anyway, now let's take a look at Katon's two-player ending. As you remember, Katon fought Ozaru. Wow, I don't think even I could fail that bad. That was epic, Katon. Now, despite that ending there, where Katon is clearly alive and he's floating in the water with Keith, it seems that the one-player ending he gets where his plane explodes is his true ending. As in Sonic Wings 2 and Aero Fighters 2, whatever you want to call it, he comes back as a robot because his head apparently survived and they were able to give him a cyborg robot body. Okay, so we've seen two endings for two different nations. Now it's time to see what this character select code does. Alright, the code was at the character select screen, hold R and hit left down right XYAB, left down right down XYAB, and that lets you play as Rabio. Rabio, if you might remember, was seen in Mao's ending under her arm, sleeping with her as her little plushie. Rabio is a pretty interesting character. He's the fastest and I'm pretty sure the strongest as well, as you'll see by his destructive power. And since he technically doesn't have a nation, he can play through all four of the opening nation stages. Now if you're doing two-player mode, the other secret character is Lupus, and he is a green thing that looks just like Rabio does. Rabio and Lupus are from their own game, which is actually called Rabio Lupus. Rabio Lupus was actually a horizontal shooter that came out 5 years before Sonic Wings did, and it starred Rabio and Lupus. In that game, the two of them are summoned that when the King of Bunnyland is kidnapped and all chaos is breaking loose, and they of course have to save the day. Here, they're these sentient flying machines that, as you can see, are really powerful. They've got these little green balls that fly with them that can destroy just about everything. I'm not sure what they are exactly, but they're really strong. Rabio makes this game so much easier. It's unbelievable how much stronger he is, even with his level 3 power-up. Now, instead of a one-liner, Rabio actually gives you bits and pieces of a code before each stage. The code they give you is actually for Endurance Mode, which is a timed fight against all the bosses of the game. I'm not going to be showing that one off, but you get the idea of what it is. Oh, that was good. I went and stayed right in front of the big laser that I said not to stay in front of. Good job, me. Jeez, he makes such short work of all the bosses. We're at stage 3 already. Rabio's form of currency are carrots, of course. I mean, it makes sense. They're rabbits, and they're from Rabbitland, so yeah, carrots. I'll have the codes listed in the description of this video in case you want to try them yourself. And here we are in England again. Beware flying rabbit of death! Wow, he went down really fast. Curious to see how Rabio would do in boss rush mode. Wow, Rabio was strong enough and fast enough that I was able to destroy both of those. That's incredible. Down goes Vizio. Next stage. Welcome back to North Africa. This should be fun. just like that, we're back in Russia. Hooray! Back in the USSR. Let's see how his bomb works. I'm curious to see how he fares against these rooftops of death here. Wow, he's strong enough I didn't even need to use it. Now I get to collect all these gun upgrades, which do absolutely nothing after you get through the book. Darn it, it got me again. Ah well, who cares. Alright, final stage. This should be fun. Let's see if I can destroy all these things. Yep, I was able to do it. I kind of figured I would be able to. Now for the rest of this place. And we're back at the system core. Now, Rabio's bomb is actually pretty cool. It shoots out these homing shots that seek in on the target and really damage it. But his shots, his normal shots are so powerful in themselves, you really don't need to use the bomb that often. And we're back at the shuttle. Let's see who he gets. Does he get Pandora or does he get Ozaru? Boom, 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 boom. Well, he got the dumb disc things first. And there's the missile. Okay, so it's going to be Pandora. Let's destroy that. Taking out everything he throws at us with relative ease here. Completely destroying it. Boom. Come on. Explode, explode, explode. Next form, come on. Or, you know, it could just explode in general and not even worry about Pandora. Awesome. So now we get his ending, which is Mao's first ending, and where she dreamed it all exists, except this time Rabio was a star. So, go figure. Is it real? Is it a dream? Who knows? Mao, we don't know if you're still dreaming or not. What we do know is that you're awesome, and this brings to a close another two-tailed playthrough. And there you have it. Aero Fighters. The SNES got Aero Fighters, Aero Fighters 2, Aero Fighters 3, and in Japan they got Sonic Wings, Sonic Wings 2, Sonic Wings 3, Sonic Wings Special, Assault, and Limited. Aero Fighters Sonic Wings 1 is the most serious of all the games in the series. The rest of the games have wacky plot twists and crazy characters and just all-around goofiness. That this one, it had a little bit of, but it was more serious than the others, like I said. Aero Fighters 2 will probably be done next year in September again for more shooters. Might even get to 3 and 4 in the later years. We'll see. Either way, I hope you enjoyed watching this. Thank you, and see you next time.